about how many have come up here. Nobody knows. You're looking on social media and the newspapers. The day I take evidence for legislation based on social media and newspaper headlines is the day I pack in caring. What we've got to look at here is, was there a better way to do this? Yes, there was. The Control of Dogs Scotland Act should have been tightened up ages ago. There may have been other ways to deal with any dogs being brought up. I don't know. Minister hasn't said. Perhaps she might have looked for licensing. We don't have a national microchipping database. I've gone on about this for ages. If we had that national microchipping database, you could identify dogs that were not indigenous to Scotland. But the problem too, apart from all that, it's not bad enough, is the unintended consequences. Now, Fulton McGregor, I know you're very unhappy about this. Fulton McGregor's pinning his hopes the fact that perhaps Labour gets in, they're pinning their hopes, Labour to get in at Westminster. They might repeal it, but in the meantime, what will have happened? Dogs will have been put down, others will have been neutered, people will have been persecuted, because that social media, which is providing this very flimsy evidence of the number of dogs coming up, will be a hot spot for people reporting people. I've seen my neighbour or such and such. They've got an XL bully dog, because they don't talk about type. People talk about XL bully dogs. If it's set in stone, they'll be reporting neighbours. And what will happen? The police, who, for heaven's sake, have got enough on their plate, will be sent out to measure a dog with a tape measure to see if it complies to the confirmation that's been invented by DEFRA. And then if they say, well, we think it's an XL bully, but of course it's got that confirmation, the person says, oh, but no, I know my dog's history. It's actually a cross between a boxer and a staffy. I know, because I knew the mother and father and the parents of the dog. There we go. We go to court. There will be court cases. And I know what the court will say about this legislation and about this Parliament and about this committee, by the way. Now, I accept you've been pushed into a corner. But when you're pushed into a corner sometimes, Minister, the thing to do is not just throw your arms in the air. And I know what the position is, but to do something different. And for me, to annul this sends a message to good people south of the border who know it's rubbish and you know it's going to be very, very painful. And even at the end of the day, if you're an unscrupulous breeder and an unscrupulous owner, and there are a few, most people are not, but there are a few, you'll just say, okay, I'll breed a dog that can be a fighting status symbol that isn't 20 inches or 19 inches, whatever. I'll make it 18 inches. Doesn't comply. That's what's so stupid about this legislation. So I have to say, I've been a quarter of a century in this Parliament. People might say it's a quarter of a century too long. I've endured so much poor legislation, from the offensive behaviour at a football match, which had that hasty start, to the ignominious finish. And I'm watching this other one. That's why I'm so angry about it. Because you know, sitting around this table, this isn't good stuff. This isn't good legislation. So I'm saying to the committee, my goodness, this is radical stuff. I'm saying, I hope you came in here with your mind made up to rubber stamp this. Well, all the concerns you've mentioned, all the difficulties, we'll still rubber stamp it in the hope that something can be done later. You don't do that. You annul it. And you look at a different way to deal with the number of dogs, which we don't know what they are, that are coming up from England. You stop dogs being dumped. You stop dogs being put down. You stop good people who have got dogs, lived happily with their neighbours for years, and their neighbours saying, hey, you've got an XL bully hen, I'm not living next door to you anymore. I mean, this is the kind of thing that happens when you do stupid things with legislation. So I'm asking you to annul this. I'm asking the committee to come back and consider a better way forward in the interest, Russell, in the interest of public safety, which is paramount, but just legislation that doesn't demonise a breed, which we don't know what it is, and doesn't demonise owners who are good people. That's my position. I move the motion.
Thank